To our May 7th board meeting, may I ask you to please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, to have our approval of our agenda. May I get a motion, please? First, Rob, second, Katie. Any discussion or questions? Okay to vote? All in favor? 5-0. Next up is the superintendent's report, Mr. Poole.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to turn over the first part of my superintendent's report to our ex officio student trustee.
So in recent events in the high school, brothers Ray and Kai Hidaka were recently named Newsday's top 30 boys tennis players. And our baseball team has made it to the playoffs this season, and we're rooting for them. We also just had our student production Sweet Surrender this past week, which was incredible. They all put a lot of effort into it, and it was really, really nice. As for upcoming important dates, senior prom tickets are on sale on Parents Square for $85 each, and seniors should register for the upcoming senior trip to All-Star Bowling Alley. AP exams are being held through this week and next week with a TRIME introduction ceremony May 8th at 7 p.m. Then May 13th, we have our National Honor Society induction at 7 p.m. And we have underclassmen awards May 20th at 12:30 p.m. Lastly, our PSTA Senior Chalk the Walk May 20th and PTSA Senior Sunrise May 21st.
Great. Thank you. So just a few other notes from around the school district. I just have to echo the play Sweet Surrender. That is a student-produced, student-run, student-performed, absolutely top-shelf, brilliant work by our students, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was funny, hysterical. So just amazing that it was completely run by students. You know, Broadway quality. So hats off to all the students. Any students here who are in Sweet Surrender? Who's over there? Catherine. Wow, that was great. This past week was National Junior Honor Society induction. I think 89 students were inducted in the middle school. Congratulations to all of them as well. So moving on to the middle school, the middle school PTO is hosting their first annual paint night this Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. There'll be a contest held with prizes for the top 3 paintings. Wow. Yeah. Regents tutorials for the algebra region start this Saturday, May 11th at the middle school, and there are tutoring sessions on May 18th and June 1st to help 8th graders prepare for the algebra regents exam on June 4th. Over at Wading River School celebrated May the 4th Be With You last Friday. The 5th grade band greeted everyone to the theme of Star Wars. Mrs. Mealy conducted it with the lightsaber as Chewbacca, probably Mr. Paranello, welcomed everyone to start the day off with a smile on the right note. Weather permitting, the Riverhead Police Department will be visiting Wading River on Friday, May 10th for a special morning of presentations that will include internet safety, police drones, and the K-9 unit. Wading River's PTA Mother's Day plant sale is this Friday, May 10th. Over at Miller Avenue, 2nd grade students visited the Southold Salt Marsh and learned about the local marine life and habitat this past week. And Miller Avenue is eagerly preparing for Park next week. This year's theme is Carnival, and they're looking forward to students and families and their PTO participating in many exciting activities throughout the week. Just additionally, I know it went out to parents just K through 5. There is now a seatbelt requirement in the school district. We've had that for a little over a week now. That has gone really, really well. A little bit better student behavior, more sitting in their seats, and increased student safety. So that's gone well. I appreciate the parents taking some time to talk to their students about wearing that seatbelt on the K through 5 buses. On tonight's agenda, we have a technology program update, a high school student performance, Spark research program update, a high school student government report, and then the 2024-25 budget hearing from Mr. Arcuri. And that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Poole, and thank you, Megan, for the update. Appreciate that. Next up, opportunity for board members. Anyone want to add anything tonight? Okay, terrific. Any statements from residents on our agenda tonight? No? Okay, thank you. Continuing forward, student and staff recognitions. I'd like to call up Mr. Frank Palazzi for our high school student performance.
I'm not the plumber.
Oh,
No.
you sure? Are you sure?
Definitely not. Definitely not. Thank you, Mr. Sheridan.
Introduce.
Yeah, introduce.
Introduce.
Maybe that I can do without messing it up. Thank you, Mr. Sheridan, Board of Education, Mr. Poole, District Office Administration. It's always a pleasure to be here in front of you guys, especially when it is to recognize so many talented high school students. They're amazing instructors. And the incredible programs that are here because of the support that exists from all of you. So without any further ado, I'd like to start by calling up Mr. Kevin O'Brien to introduce our musical performance for tonight. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks for having us this evening. You guys heard this group a few weeks back when they performed Tie Yellow Ribbon, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the district. And continuing on in that spirit, they're going to play a couple songs for you tonight. Also 50 years old. They're going to open with Angel from Montgomery, which was written in 1971 by John Pine. However, the version they're doing is the Bonnie Raitt version, which was done in 1974. And then they're going to play Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac, which was written and recorded in 1974 and then released in 1975. So we appreciate the invite to perform. And you have no idea how much fun it is working with these guys. And then I have them for a period, the bell rings, and then they have to go to class, and it kills me. I figure I can't hog them all to myself, so I would share them and their talent with you tonight, which is, I'll let it speak for itself, okay?
It's exciting.
Thank you.
They have some mother.
Young on guitar. Aubrey Russo on drums. William McQuaid on Barry saxophone. And Sandra Keeney, your singer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having our concert tonight here. I forgot we were at a board meeting. They were terrific as always.
That's amazing.
Another point of pride is our music program, so thank you for sharing it.
You guys will be back next time, right?
Right. You know, actually, Mr. O'Brien, the 70s revival, I guess, with the 50th anniversary, all the music that's coming up, the 70s, coming back to 74 to
To be
present.
honest, the last one they did, Tie Yell Ribbon, was a specific request of Mr. Poole.
Wow, personal favorite.
And I don't regret it.
It was the right thing to do. However, the two songs you just heard them play,
Yes.
these kids are so talented, so I felt like I had to get them playing. So this just kind of happened as we went along. And from when I used to perform, I was in a band that did all covers with a female lead. So these were songs from I went through my old set list, and these were two songs that were on the set list. And I gave them the set list. I said, go through and pick out some of the stuff that you like. These were two of the ones that popped up.
Oh, wow.
And they just happened to be 50 years old.
Oh, okay. I thought you were rehearsing for a few.
No, it was really kind
Neat.
of, stars aligning on that one with the 50th anniversary.
Truly.
So,
Very cool.
it's amazing when you think, these guys only do this like a few times preparing for these meetings, because there's just not enough time in the day, and I have to share them out with their families, with their classes, their sports, their clubs, and everything else.
Right,
So,
of course.
having done this professionally, I know what it takes to be able to sound like that, and to do it with so little rehearsal time is a testament to their ability, which makes me look good, so thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Right, thanks for that. Stephanie, do I need to do anything with the amended piece? No, just leave it. We adopted it as is, right? Okay, good. Just making sure. Next up is our reports and reviews. We have our technology program update. Mr. Palazzi, I'll invite you back up with Mr. Paocelli, please,
Thank you very much. Just wanted to point out one more thing
Yes.
as they leave.
as they exit.
You've got 2 sophomores, a junior, and a senior.
Wow.
So that talent is going to be around for a while. So it just keeps going and going and going and going. Amazing, amazing job. Yes, it is now my pleasure to bring up Dr. Joe Pariacelli, along with Mr. Jacob Segerson and some of our students from our technology program to give an update about the amazing things that are going down in S126. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you.
Jacob, I didn't know that we were going to have to follow that.
You can try.
Well, we better hurry up, because that was amazing.
Whatever.
That was amazing. So thank you for the time tonight to be able to speak and to have Jacob here kind of present some of the fantastic things that have been going on in our technology program. So even though Jacob Sigerson has only been with us for a short time, his initiative to elevate our student experiences in the technology program is clear and evident. So not only has he made significant improvements to our existing programs and some of the existing activities in the programs, he's also added some new technology and some new technology to our existing programs. So some of which he's actually going to demonstrate for you tonight. So he's brought some of his students to kind of help demonstrate. So he's going to go over some of the current program updates, some of the programs that he has currently that he's just updated the activities in and kind of elevated the kids' experiences. And then he's also going to go into the laser engraver, the 3D printers, the drone blocks, and demonstrate those drone blocks for you. So with the kids' help. So Jacob, you want to come on up?
All right. Hello, my name is Jacob Sigerson. I'm a technology teacher here at the high school. We're going to be bringing you guys through some of the updates that we've brought to the school this year, as Dr. Palicelli just explained. I'd like to start out by thanking Dr. Palicelli, all of our other administration, our Board of Education, for supporting me and the program. It wouldn't have been possible to get all these amazing equipment and all these updates without you guys, so thank you. All right, so some of the program updates, the drone technology unit and the World of Technology course, which we'll be demonstrating tonight with some of our students using drone blocks, some pre-programmed missions that they're going to run for us. The laser cutter and engraver is being incorporated into multiple courses. That's an amazing piece of equipment that we were able to acquire this year. Enhancing the 3D printers infrastructure. So we're able to utilize 3D printers that were already existing in the high school and get a couple more that were underutilized in other parts of the district and move them into the technology program and start using those more often. New hands-on projects and experiences. You can see some pictures on the board of architectural models. So we made some framing models. We're doing floor plan models, all kinds of different hands-on activities that real architects use in industry. Electrical mock-ups, so we're actually making mock-up walls and wiring different switches, three-way switches, one-way switches, outlets, receptacles, all that kind of stuff for real. So getting the students with real hands-on experience, exactly how it would be in the trades. New field trips. This year we went to the Brookhaven National Lab bridge building competition. It was an amazing experience where the students got to compete against other districts in a competition where they built bridges and tested them against each other to see whose bridge can hold the most weight. We also went to Riverhead Building Supply and saw their facilities. We met with their HR team and talked about hiring and resumes. We also went into their lumber yards and saw how material gets to them and then to job sites. So the students are really getting to see the whole process hands-on in person, which is great for them. We're also incorporating regular and annual school projects to help build school pride and ownership. So we're talking about stuff that we're building for the school, things like the 30th anniversary time capsule that we built this year, 50th year time capsule, my bad. 50th anniversary time capsule. We built the coffee cart for the life skills program, which was an amazing experience. We built some planter boxes out by the Peace Garden, by the pond, and some other projects we've done around the school. So all those projects using the skills they're learning in class to then build stuff for the school has been an amazing experience that really helps them build a sense of pride in their school and their work. So the laser cutter engraver, the main focus of this is bringing industry standard equipment into the classroom. Right? So we're bringing stuff that's used in the real world when these students go out into the world and get engineering jobs, architecture jobs. These are the kind of equipment that they're going to be using on a daily basis. So we're getting them started early and learning how to use it. The laser engraver is what's considered a SIM machine, so computer integrated manufacturing, starting to integrate computers and technology into making of things, right? So instead of using hand tools and other stuff like that, we're integrating it alongside those things to bring our program to the 21st century. So taking those digital designs to the real world. Numerous projects, we're using this in a multitude of classes. We're using it in architecture to make models. We're using it in World of Tech. We made some ornaments around Christmas time. We made these LED signs in our electricity electronics class. So all kinds of capabilities with this machine. The limits are endless, and we're really excited to have this and use it, increase to use it more and more. We're using industry standard software such as AutoCAD and Lightburn to use this machine. So again, students really getting that experience that they are going to be doing in the real world when they get industry jobs. 3D printers, so the program had one existing 3D printer when I got here, and we started to utilize the 3D printer, and obviously we realized we need more. 3D printers, the more the merrier as far as those go. So we found 2 3D printers in the middle school that were being underutilized, so we moved those into the high school, and now they're being used much more for our high school students. The reason we have 3D printers, understanding how industry professionals, again, the same thing tying towards industry, we really want these students to see what it's like to have these jobs and what it really is to be an architect, to be an engineer. So using 3D printers for prototyping designs, learning concepts of additive manufacturing instead of deductive manufacturing, cutting. We are using material and adding it to build an object out of nothing, which is really cool for the students. And then using more industry standard programs and software such as Autodesk Inventor and Cura slicing software. drone technology. So this is what we're going to be demonstrating tonight, and it's an amazing piece of equipment that we're able to use. Right now we're using it in our World of Technology class, and it's an amazing way to introduce concepts of computer science to students who otherwise probably wouldn't have that experience in a fun new way. So instead of just coding on the computer and getting out, just a typed response, we're coding, and then we're using that code to then fly the drones to do missions. So it's a really cool, fun way. The students are really enjoying it. It's honestly awesome, and it has so many career implications with emergency response. As you guys heard, the police department came and did a presentation for one of our elementary schools, and we're looking to see if they can come and do it to our high school as well. Things like surveying land, photography. I know real estate uses drones a lot. So again, the main theme of the presentation is starting to get all those industry jobs and industry equipment, and getting those students real world experiences. We're part of the curriculum is talking about the FAA Remote Pilot Certification, Part 107. So that's a certification that a student or an industry professional would need to fly these for industry. So we're learning about how to get those and what it is required to get that. We're also having the students actually earn their recreational drone license, which is required for recreation flight. So all students will walk away with that certification to be able to fly our outdoor drones, which we'll be starting up shortly. Now I'm going to call up two students, Emily Miltz and Patrick Morano, who are going to talk a little bit about their experience using the drones in the classroom, and then give us a short presentation of the drones actually flying. So that should be cool. I don't know if it's going to be as cool as the music, but we'll do our best.
This is an example of a mission that incorporated many of the programming concepts we learned in class, such as using variables, loops, and logic.
So is it following a flight pattern right now? Do we have to get worried up here? Are you coming after any of us? I'm just curious. Just making sure. That was neat. Very cool.
Thank you, Pat and Emily. I just want to point out that on the screen is the software that we use in class. That is the code on the right that flew those drones. Right, so that's the actual code that our students made. That middle picture is the simulator that the students use to run the code before they fly it in the real world to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do. And on the left is a picture of the students using it during class.
Wow.
To our next slide. I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching our presentation. One thing that we do have for all of our board members, the electricity electronics class made you guys some LED signs made on our laser cutter.
Wow.
So our Shoreham-Wading River logo, and I'll throw a little packs to show you how it works. So there you go.
Wow, that's so nice.
That's great.
That is really something else.
Pat and Emily are going to come and give each of you guys one of those.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
That's so neat. Thank you very much.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
That is really nice.
It's a great presentation. Thank you.
You want to,
Thank you.
what's that? You want me to light mine up?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. I'll light it up.
Very cool.
See if I can do this.
they different colors?
They can go in any color.
Let's assume, so this is probably like an on-off switch. Yeah. Oh, you think it has power? Let's see.
It might be pre-charged.
Let's see.
Sometimes it's pre-charged.
Right into your laptop.
We can. We haven't yet because we have the site curriculum. Possibly in the future.
Yeah, fun.
So, thank you.
None?
Ah, okay. Now we got it.
Very cool.
Whoop, sorry.
Oh, you got your colors changing.
I know, I got colors change. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I'll get out of the way. Oh, you want it in there? Okay, all right. Thank you.
It's very cool.
I think that's great. So, Mr. Segerson, I do have a question or two.
Showed it just in time for the gift.
What?
Showed it just in time for the gift.
Absolutely. You did, right?
the
That
budget
was
hearing.
good. It was perfect.
Missed that, right?
Absolutely. So first of all, that was really, really impressive. Thank you to the students. That was really cool. Never saw something like that yet. I'm so impressed with where the program has gone this year. I do have a question or two. So going back, just real quick, so if I'm a high school student and I want to take any of these classes, is it well known? I love these hands-on experiences, what's happening, World of Technology you mentioned, the whole FAA certification, all these things that are happening. So can you, just going back, what classes, so if I'm wanting to use a 3D printer or a laser cutter, how do I get involved? What is this kind of
Yeah, so
new?
definitely come down to my classroom and talk to me.
Okay.
Our guidance department will also talk to you about these classes and what they do in those classes. So for the 3D printers, the main class that uses that would be our design and drawing for production class. We do all our drafting, AutoCAD work, 3D modeling. Our World of Tech class has used them in the past a little bit too. For the drones, that's mainly used in our World of Technology class right now. We're looking to continue and expand it. Right now it's a unit within World of Technology, but we're looking to expand and see where that can go. Our laser engraver is mainly, again, used in our design and drawing for production course, but has also been utilized in electronics with the LED signs, and also with some other classes during the holidays. We got them to build ornaments, especially World of Tech. So a lot of this equipment we're trying to utilize in every place that we can.
Sure, of course.
So
No, I just think it's fantastic to see what you've done in such a short period of time. So congratulations. I appreciate all the hard work. And I think on behalf of all of us, it's really neat. It's experiences again for our students, right? Exploring some new opportunities. That the drone demonstration was terrific. So thank you again for that.
thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. This is a fun night. What do we have next? So next will be, again, Mr. Pacelli, are you coming up, Dr. Pacelli?
Yep,
And we have our
absolutely.
Spark Research Program update, so I'm looking forward to this as well.
Right, so as Ms. Schaefer's about to showcase her students' work in science, research, and Spark program, for me to take a moment to note that the work you're about to hear from her was possible only with her support, guidance, and encouragement. So I need to express my appreciation for her efforts and dedication in helping her students reach the milestones such as LICEF competition, Regeneron competition, manuscript publication, even having one of her students present her microplastics research to the Secretary of Energy.
That's
So,
amazing.
absolutely. So, Dana, thank you for your collegiality, your diligence, and your efforts in helping our students reach their potential.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Schaefer.
All right, well, thank you for having us out tonight. We don't have toys with us, I'm sorry to disappoint about that, but that's because our toys are a few miles down the road at Brookhaven National Lab, and they kind of frown upon leaving with anything that's on the property, so. But this is the 7th year of our research program, and we just keep getting stronger year after year. So we've hit some significant milestones this year, as Dr. Pacelli already mentioned, and there are still a few big moments to come before our year is over. So I wanted to just briefly highlight what each year of our research program has been working on this year, and then let you hear from 3 of my current students to share their experience with their research for this year, with the Spark program in particular. So our Intro to Research, or the first year of our research program, our students participated in the fall in the annual Day in the Life of the Peconic Estuary program, and then spent most of the year designing and carrying out a DNA barcoding project, studying the biodiversity of either earthworms, leeches, aquatic macros from the pond, which are pond bugs, or mushrooms, and they were all collected here on campus. And that was to help identify the health of our ecosystem here on campus. Last month, they took those projects to the annual Long Island Science Congress, and they did a wonderful job presenting their findings there. Our second year students, each of our second year students this year chose to work with Brookhaven Lab as part of our Spark program, and we have projects studying the degradation of lithium-ion batteries under varying environmental conditions, the effects of probiotics on regulating the uptake of heavy metals in plants, and a project looking at the impact of sunscreen on aquatic plants, which Ariel will talk to you a little bit more about in a moment. And these students also did an outstanding job at Long Island Science Congress last month. And finally, my third and fourth year advanced research students have been quite busy this year. So Derek is here to tell you about his experience in his fourth and final year of our research program. And then Anna will share her experience joining Spark this year. Juliana O'Neill, as Dr. Palicelli mentioned, and she was asked to then talk about her microplastics research with the Secretary of Energy. She and I were also asked to present our experience for an informational video about Spark and our experience at BNL that was then released by BNL on their website in honor of Earth Day. And there's a YouTube link that you can see that as well. So I'm going to hand off to them for right now, let them tell you a little bit about their experiences, and then I'll fill you in on what we have coming up in the remainder of the year.
Terrific.
All right. You actually don't need
Hi, I'm Ariel Greenberg. I'm a 10th grader, and I'm in the second year of the science research program. This year I started Spark as well, which I talked to a bunch of talented scientists and a bunch of teachers from other school districts who helped me get where I am in my current project, which I would have never had the opportunity to have without this program. And this year I worked with my classmate Olivia Pesso on our current project, which we collectively decided to look at how chemical and mineral sunscreen affects aquatic and terrestrial photosynthetic organisms. So what we did is we conducted our experiment in Ms. Schaefer's office in her classroom with a bunch of tanks and a bunch of squash plants essentially. And then we collected these samples and we took it to Brookhaven National Laboratory and ran it through the XPD beamline. XPD stands for X-ray powder diffraction, and it's essentially a very big, expensive machine that shows us the chemical composition of our samples. And this data helps us to see how the plants and algae took up our sunscreen. And then our future steps are to finish analyzing our data that we got back from that beamline and to rerun our experiment with a different sunscreen and while watching the dissolved oxygen in our tanks to see how that how the sunscreen affects the dissolved oxygen, which affects our organisms, and then run that through our XPD beamline as well. And that's where we are right now.
That's amazing. Sounds very interesting. Can't wait to hear your findings.
Hi, I'm Anna Minetti. I'm in
That's crazy.
11th grade and I'm in my third year of science research. I recently, earlier this year, joined the Spark program, which is a program through BNL, where I've done a project on lichens and microplastics. Lichens and microplastics, so microplastics have been a concern in our recent few decades since plastic is everywhere. Your computers, everything, your water bottles, it's everywhere. It's in our air, it's in the water. So I've been using lichens, which are great bioindicators, meaning that they show us environmental changes to identify microplastics in the air. And what I've been able to do is take these lichens and microplastics to BNL and identify them with an infrared microscope, which is really cool. It's an expensive piece of lab equipment that we would not get the experience anywhere else, really. And that graph you see is a graph that I was able to produce off of our infrared microscope at the lab. It's been a really cool experience as someone who wasn't necessarily sure if they were interested in science, to go and see all this equipment and explore these different opportunities in science that I would not have known about otherwise. It's been great going to the lab and seeing all this technology that I wouldn't see anywhere else. Once again, real world experiences. It's been a lot of fun. And you saw music and drones today, but if you saw the equipment at the lab, it's pretty cool too.
Hi, my name is Derek Blanco. I'm a fourth year science research student, and in collaboration with the SPARK program, I've been working on the pond sediment project, which I've been analyzing the chemical composition to determine the overall health of the pond. Now with this project, I became the first student from our high school to apply to the Regeneron Science Talent Search, which I, along with Donkai, helped pave the road for very promising students in the grades below me in the research program. And now currently I'm working on publishing my manuscript to the MDPI journal, or one of the MDPI journals, which is, they own several different science research journals. Now we're approaching the final few steps into making last minute edits, kind of getting ready for to submit it off to the journal. And when I eventually am accepted and they put it in their new publication, I'll be the first student from our high school as well to have a published manuscript, which is all very exciting.
Something to be very proud of. Something to be very proud of. Congratulations.
So it's good to be taking new steps, and I couldn't have done it without the help of Ms. Schaefer, Dr. Pellicelli, and the other students, teachers, and scientists with the SPARK program. So, thank you.
So how's the health of our pond?
So honestly, it's pretty good.
All right. That's good. All right,
That's great.
What's your before and your after from the pond? Why do we do this?
Why did we do it? Well, we had a big water main break a few years ago, 2019.
Remember that, yeah.
Whoa.
I remember that.
Oh, you knew that was coming, Glenn.
That was a big mess.
A lot of runoff, right?
So we had samples already of the pond sediment, so we're like, all right, we got to look at it again, see if anything horrible happened. And we looked at these elements. This is a graph of each of the elements that I looked at, along with the previous student that graduated from here. He analyzed the heavy elements, and we kind of came to the conclusion that there's overall not too much of an impact, and our pond should be pretty healthy. Not everything got destroyed by the water main break. So
What
good
about
news.
the addition to the fountain?
The
Did that
fountain?
help?
Well, we don't know about that yet.
Okay.
But maybe that's a future project.
We actually have first years looking at our pond bugs before the fountain and after
All right,
the fountain.
good.
Wow.
We're keeping you guys busy.
Yeah.
Of course.
The fountain, I didn't know. Thank you, Derek, very much. This is great.
So that former student that Derek was mentioning is Jalal Sawas. I don't know if the name rings a bell for anyone. So he is in his third year at Stony Brook. He's applying for medical school next year, studying to take the MCATs. But he was one of my first groups of research kids. He was in my first year intro class, and he collected the before samples. So he and Derek have been teaming up, which has been such a nice collaboration for me, kind of seeing all of this come full circle with this particular project. So one thing about science research is that it rarely follows an academic year and the schedule that we keep from September through June. So we have several more events coming up this year to round out our year. The first is coming up next Monday. We have an annual users meeting for the Light Source, which is the facility that we use at Brookhaven National Lab, and my Spark kids will all be presenting a poster there to talk about the work that they've done. At the end of May, we have the Open Space Stewardship Program, also at BNL, which is any other event program that was hosted by BNL, which will be our Day in the Life program. Those students will go there and present to other peers from other districts as well. Each year, we culminate our barcode program with the Barcode Symposium out at Cold Spring Harbor Lab, which is a wonderful experience for those kids there for my first years. And then here on June 6th, we have our annual Science Research Showcase, which we invite all of you to come and sit in and watch and see what all of our research kids have been doing this year. That'll be after school at 3 o'clock. And then we have, so as Derek mentioned, he is in the process of preparing one scientific manuscript. We actually have 2 additional that we are in the midst of coming out of our research program this year. A second one is coming from Sasha Seletskaya, who's working on, she was analyzing a meteor that was given to us through the Spark program. So she's in the middle of working on that single-handedly as a primary author on her paper with a scientist that we work with out of BNL and Stony Brook. And then our microplastics crew has been working on a collaborative paper as well. So Juliana O'Neill and Katie Schaefer have been will be authors on that paper as well as Ariel Greenberg and Alexander Tishenko from my second year kids. So we have been quite busy. Then next fall we'll see 4 new Regeneron applications from our rising 4th years. Wow. Over the summer we have 2 of our rising 4th years participating in the really prestigious high school research program at BNL, which is a 6-week internship there. And then we have 2 other students pursuing the health sciences pathway with an internship at Peconic Bay Medical Center. So we've got a lot going on this summer, and like Jacob was mentioning, you know, this is all real world stuff. Ours is maybe a little bit different from the hands-on technology, but our technology is in my classroom as well as in the lab, and it's giving them a taste and an experience of collaboration, working with professional scientists, working with one another, and then using these big toys. And we could not do everything that we do without all of your help, without Mr. Pugliese, without Mr. Halonia, especially without Dr. Palicelli. He's been wonderful and so super supportive of us this year. And I am so proud of everything that these guys have done and how strong our program is. And I'm looking forward to everything that's coming in the future, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you again to the students, Ms. Schaefer, and obviously for these amazing, amazing, talented children that are coming up through our ranks. It's amazing to watch. It's impressive. I'm not even sure what else to say about it. So good. So beautiful. All right. Mr. Pugliese, guess what? You're up next again. High school student government report.
Once again, it's an embarrassment of riches, and to thank Dana, to thank Jacob, your energy, your expertise, what you bring to the classrooms obviously is reflected in the students and in these programs that just continue to skyrocket. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Ms. Marianne Aegis and Ms. Britt Davis, our student government advisors, and to bring up a handful of our grade level officers to talk about a spring update and the great things going on here at Shoreham-Wading River. Thank you.
Very good.
Hello, my name is Marianne Aegis, and this is Brittany Davis. We are the co-advisors of the high school student government. As this year comes to an end, our student government is not only planning their exciting end of the year activities, but they're also looking ahead towards the future. Our seniors are looking forward to college and using their leadership skills learned here at SWR to help them succeed in the future. Our juniors have successfully planned one prom already and a shared auction, and are now looking to their senior year and the big undertaking ahead of them, planning all of the senior events. Finally, our underclassmen are preparing for their re-elections, and some of them will be running for the first time, bringing new life into our student government program.
Here tonight to share some of the highlights of what student government has accomplished so far this year are seniors Don Kai Zong, Nick Friedlander, juniors Anna Marino, Giovanna Costa, and Kate Retman, sophomores David Formasano and Harrison Zeller, and freshman Ashley Miltz. And Bobby Darren, the famous Bobby Darren.
In December last year of this school year, to spread the Christmas spirit, all the home bases took part in a door decorating contest. Student government voted on an ugly sweater theme for the competition, and all the doors were judged by the administration. The students and teachers worked together to decorate their doors in different creative and unique ways. There were endless takes on the theme in an effort to win the contest. The end result was teacher Miss Aegis and her home base
Oh.
It wasn't great.
being winners. Their grand prize was a bagel party for her and her home base. We all love bagels. Their door was decorated with a picture of our very own principal, Mr. Pugliese, in an ugly sweater
Now we know why.
modeled after the 50th anniversary of our SWR High School.
Very good, thank you.
The freshman class has a plant sale coming up run by faculty member Mr. Caskey. It will take place outside our high school on May 21st from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It will be open to the public to buy various flowers, vegetables, and other plants that were provided to our school by Andrews Farms in Wading River. We also will be doing another fundraiser in the near future by washing cars in order to raise money for the freshman class. The profits of said fundraiser will be used to support our class and any events in the upcoming years of our time in high school.
Thank you.
Oh, got it. Nice. Okay. All right, hello. I'm here representing the senior class, and first off, we're going to be talking about pep rally. So this wasn't just an effort on the part of the senior class. This is the results of our pep rally are representative of the work of all of our grades. However, we were just the ones chosen to talk about it. So to me, pep rally is a lot more than just a day of fun and games and just sort of horsing around. All of us, every grade level, sort of just gets together and sits and cheers on our fellow classmates and just has a lot of fun. It creates like a pretty big sense of unity and just community engagement, and it's awesome. A lot of people that I wouldn't expect participate in these games, people that I usually don't see are very outgoing or very talkative. I see, out there having fun, having the time in their lives, and it's just really cool. I have a lot of fun, and speaking of fun, each year we also have a tour in the hallway segment. I guess this will be the final year for that because he is graduating. To explain what Tori in the hallway is, some of you guys might know Tori is one of our lead performative artists, I guess you could say. And each year he prepares a short little skit, sort of interviewing all the different teachers and classmates pretty haphazardly, just sort of asking them about their opinions and takes on the upcoming games. And it's always a lot of fun. And it's really cool seeing, I guess, performative arts and just arts in general being mixed with these sort of sporty community events. Our dance team each year and our cheer team always have really amazing performances, getting us excited for the upcoming events. Oop. Yes, okay. So, yeah, okay. One of the big draws, or not draws, yeah, one of the big, yeah, one of the big highlights, thank you. One of the big highlights to each year's pep rally are the teacher volleyball games. Each principal is given a team and they practice together. The day of pep rally, we actually saw them all in the hallways playing with each other. It was very fun. In these sort of competitive games, there will be winners and there will also be losers. Mr. Holonia's team beat out Mr. Pugliese and Mr. Ackerman's team, and it was a very fun time.
He's
Sorry.
pretty tall.
Yes. Let's see. All right.
Little height advantage there.
What's this? What was this talking about? I don't remember. But yeah, it was just a really good time. I'm pretty sad that I will be graduating and can no longer attend these. These were just something I was always looking forward to during my years of high school. And yeah, that's about it. Up
Thank you,
next
Duncan.
will be the sophomore class, I believe. Yeah.
The
sophomore class has been continuing to sell donuts. It's been very successful. We started selling Dunkin' Donuts because they're a cheaper price, and we sold out every single time. We introduced Prime Hydration to sell with the donuts, and they also sold out every time. And yeah.
All right, so
So
we
you're
know
making
we're.
money.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
He's making
sophomore class is in pretty good financial shape.
So the junior class had the junior senior auction on March 9th,
Hmm.
and we raised over
Wow.
$15,000.
Wow.
We had many generous donations, and we had, I believe, a total number of over 400 baskets at the auction.
Wow, that is a lot. Great community support.
That's impressive.
Mhm.
So with the fundings from the auction, it helped us lower the junior prom tickets to about $55, which was able to keep the cost down for everybody so we could all have a good time.
Mhm.
And in addition, fund things like our DJ and our food and our venue.
Very nice.
So we had our prom April 13th at Willow Creek. It was about 4 hours long. We had a taco bar, an ice cream bar. We had drinks being served, non-alcoholic, strawberry daiquiris and pina colada.
That's a plus.
Strawberry daiquiris.
Make sure you make that clear.
We had the
Presentation.
third generation DJ there, and overall it was a really great time. Everybody enjoyed it. Yeah.
And that's great. A lot of good efforts went into that junior class auction, so thanks for all those who did that. Oh, yeah, video?
Oh, is that what that is?
Oh.
We do, we have video.
We don't have the interactive.
Very good. Thank you, junior class.
So for the senior class, as we're approaching the end of our year,
Mhm.
starting up, once we get through AP week, which just begun, we have one more week to go. We have our all-star bowling trip on the 23rd, which will have bowling, we'll have 8-ball, food, and arcade, which I'm very excited for. And then on the 31st, we have our barbecue, where we'll come together and eat. We have field day, which is right after the barbecue, which is important. Wading River has to win this year. They will. And then we have our breakfast on the 7th, followed by the walk through all the schools, which I'm very excited for because it's been a while since I've gone through some of the lower schools like elementary school, and there's been a lot of modifications, new faces, and some old ones I haven't seen in a while. And of course, on the 18th we have prom, which I think everyone's excited for. And then finally, 21st we have graduation, which is coming a lot sooner than I expected.
Mhm.
And of course, every week we have our bagel fundraiser, which has been wildly successful, which was, of course, my grand idea. So we sell bagels for $3, and that has really helped us with fundraising. We actually brought down our prom tickets from last year's was around $120. We brought it down to $85, which is
Wow.
with
Nice.
great help from the bagel fundraiser. So
Mhm.
we've been doing a lot of fundraising, in addition to the shirt sales too. So we have a lot to come.
Thank you for those senior activity updates. Really great.
Hi, I'm
Oh, there's
Harrison
more.
Zeller. I'm the secretary of the sophomore class of 2026. This June, late May, we are having the class of 2026 elections. Each year, students make videos to run for positions, which are shown during home base. After all the videos have been shown, students make their votes on Google Forms, which are provided on each home base's Google Classroom.
Mhm.
And of course, the students who gain the most votes for each positions get the position.
Mhm.
That's all.
Very good, thank you. So thank you to our advisors. This is really great to see all the activities occurring, the spirit that's alive here at the high school. It's always fun to see, and seeing all of you presenting to us tonight, thank you for the time, and obviously giving these updates. It's really wonderful to see. And congrats to the seniors. Look forward to those activities.
Good luck on your AP exams.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep you so late.
Hi, Jerry. Yeah, come on up. Okay. So we have the most exciting presentation coming up next for all those who want to stay around. It is the 2024-2025 budget hearing by Mr. Glenn Acuri. Will be
It's an
giving an
option, we
update.
can leave.
Yes, exactly.
We're about to see the vacuum signs.
Thank you again for attending, everyone.
Vacuum.
People staying.
Don't feel bad.
Poor Glenn. Poor Glenn. Keep your head up, Glenn.
Good, good.
I think I would
Great.
like to petition the board.
Right.
Budget presentations go first.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Maybe.
So that everyone will have to be here.
Hey. Hey. Anyone on this board can make a motion to bring him first. We could change the agenda on the fly. Right.
Video, a song, a phone.
Right. What is Glenn got? Right. We had everything tonight, Glenn. And now we get the finances.
Now we get to talk about how we are able to fund
All of these
all
beautiful.
of those wonderful
Absolutely.
programs.
Rob was just saying this is his last one. He's very sad and upset.
This is the last budget hearing.
Oh, Rob. Rob's gonna get sentimental. Who's got tissues?
Mr. Acuri, so take your time.
Glad you know how I feel about the long presentation.
The Ranger game is on, just for the record.
So those numbers said 2012, 2013, right? First time.
Is that right, Rob? Is
We're
that
gonna
the
go
first
through
year?
the slides slowly.
Okay.
As
Okay.
Mr. Poole asked. Tonight is the budget hearing. This is
That's your intro.
This is our 2-week, 2 weeks before the actual budget vote. The residents will be receiving inside of the mail what's called a 6-day notice. That is our last piece of budget literature. This past week they should be, or this current week they should be receiving or have already received our budget newsletter. So actively trying to bring the community up to speed on the 24-25 budget, and all that is in it. Thank you for staying. My first. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm touched. The 24-25 proposed budget maintains all programs that are in the 23-24 budget, maintains current class size, includes a transfer to capital fund budget line. It includes the use of prior year state aid as a revenue source, includes 9 new additional clubs, includes funding to replace 50 to 60 interactive smart boards, reflects reduction in contingent funds, and does not include funding to cover the shortfall in UPK funding that has previously been covered by grants. Budget highlights in a little more detail. We are adding 9 additional clubs, 2 of them to the middle school, the remaining 7 to the elementary schools. It is important to point out from an elementary club standpoint, we are actually restoring clubs that were previously cut back in 2008, 2009. So it's a really big event. The more clubs are able to restore at the elementary schools, it just brings a sense for everyone gets an opportunity to do something as part of the after school program. The transfer to capital fund, that is a budget line that's being funded by the prior year state aid funds. The prior year state aid claim was a claim the district won against the state for inequitable payments of state aid back in 2003, 4, 5, and 6. And we're able to use those funds to provide electrical infrastructure replacements and upgrades, as well as construction of 2 additional faculty room restrooms at the Miller Avenue School. New high school courses, digital literacy, pre-advanced placement world history and geography, writing lab and writing center, and a new elective as cybersecurity. Interactive smartboard replacement. There is funding inside the 24-25 budget to cover replacement of up to 50 to 60 smartboards. There are approximately 120 interactive smart boards across all 4 buildings. Most, if not all, are past their useful life. And even the students have commented how there are technical difficulties adjusting focus, coming out of focus, turning them on. So it is time. They are actively used inside of the instructional spaces. Depending upon the price that we're able to receive, maybe we were able to do more than 60, but we estimate between 50 and 60. We're going to be starting the installation at the high school and middle school this upcoming summer, and hopefully be able to carry this funding into the 25-26 budget, which will allow us to finish up the middle school, the Wading River School, and the Miller Avenue School. You could find the technology department's presentation on our website for greater detail. And as far as maintenance projects go, we're adding additional cameras district-wide. That was one of the recommendations that came out of our 5-year building condition survey. So we are continually upgrading. A good number of our cameras were installed as part of the 2012 health and safety project. So I'd say more than 2/3 are past their useful life, more than 10 years old. The average span is about 7 years. We have a great technology department as well as a great security partner that keeps our cameras operational, and we hope to continue to stay in front of any type of camera failures. In addition, install a concrete walkway along the middle school track. And there's also funding inside the budget for an additional kindergarten playset at the Miller Avenue building, library furniture at the Wading River building, interactive classroom furniture at the middle school, robotics equipment at the high school, and a Yamaha upright piano for the high school. The tax levy limit, we are not proposing to pierce. We are only doing a simple majority vote, which is 50% plus 1. And our tax levy limit with exclusions is 2.5224%. All components have been included inside the calculation. All known pilot payments, all known debt service payments, as well as the building aid. The proposed budget reflects a 4% increase, or $3,389,104. It's important to point out, as I mentioned earlier, if we did not have the transfer to capital fund budget line as part of the 24-25 budget, understanding that there's an offsetting revenue from prior year state aid to pick up the cost of $1,676,920, our budget-to-budget increase from 23 to 24 to 24 to 25 would only be 2.02%. Again, that's a very important piece to continue to point out so that there isn't a misunderstanding. Yes, it's a 4% year-to-year increase. However, from a revenue standpoint, we are adding a one-time use revenue of prior year state aid to cover the cost of the transfer to capital fund budget line. Any questions on the year-to-year comparison values? Summary of expenditures. It shows the areas in which the dollars are being spent. We are a people business. Salaries and benefits make up approximately 71% of the overall budget. Transportation makes up about 6.5%. Debt and transfers reflects an increase of $1,570,000. It's important to point out that in that category, that's where the transfer to capital fund budget line is. So if we did not have the transfer to capital fund budget line included inside the 24-25 budget, we'd actually see a decrease inside of that category. District-wide expenses reflect a 3.32% increase. Special education, a slight decrease. Facilities, a slight decrease. Technology, a increase of 7.5%. The athletics budget, a 15.63% increase. Curriculum and staff development, a decrease of 4.60%. Community programs, a decrease of 1.16%. Health services, 18.13% reduction, and personnel, a 17.39% reduction. As I had mentioned earlier, the 24-25 budget includes reductions in contingent funds. So in building the 24-25 budget, we did a comparison to actuals the past 3 years in order to identify what budget codes have funding in it that is a little bit more than we've been using in the past. So we were able to trim those budget codes to continue to stay within the allowable revenue limits. Proposed budget in three-part form. Administrative reflects a 5.42% increase. Capital reflects a 13.43% increase. Again, very important to note, the capital component includes that transfer to capital fund budget line that's being funded by the prior year state aid revenue. And the program component reflects a 2.10% increase. Year-to-year summary comparison, expenditure budget reflects a 4% increase. The tax levy limit is 2.5224%. State aid has a small increase of 0.27%. Other local revenue has a 5.75% increase. We are appropriating a little less than we did the previous year, approximately 1.75% less. As I mentioned before, we are using $1,676,921 of prior year state aid revenue as a one-time revenue source to offset the transfer to capital fund budget line that was included in the 24-25 budget. And as far as use of reserves, we are continuing to apply $1 million in employee retirement system reserve, $104,000 in unemployment reserve, $550,000 of workers' compensation reserve, and a first-time use of the debt service fund of $74,266. Contingent budget, if the voters are not supportive on May 21st, the Board of Education has the ability to put up the same budget or a modified budget up for another vote the second week of June. And if that budget were to, again, not be supported by the voters, we would be required to maintain our tax levy as it is for 23-24. If we were to have to do that, our budget would be $85,056,717. It would require equipment reductions. All of the smart boards, the interactive smart boards would come out of the budget. The playground set for Miller Avenue would come out of the budget. So all of our equipment, a little less than $1 million, would have to be removed. The transfer to capital fund line would have to be removed from the budget, as well as administrative cap and other reductions, a little less than $500,000. If the budget were not to be supported on May 21st, when we come back to do a presentation on May 28th, the contingent budget would be reflective of a lot more detail. This is the minimum required to be presented, and that's what we've been presenting it in the past. Meet the minimum requirement and only go into greater detail if we're actually faced with having to have that discussion. The last 7 years, the average tax levy increase has been 1.30%, and the budget history the last 7 years has been 2.24%. So as I mentioned earlier, if we didn't have the transfer to capital fund budget line in the 24-25 budget, we'd show a year-to-year comparison of 2.02%. Again, we would be under what our 7-year average is. Any questions? Budget development dates, we have had 5 development meetings. We have presented the budget to the Shoreham Civic Association, the Wading River Civic Association, tonight here at the budget hearing, And if you'd like to see the presentation again, Mr. Rose, you could come on Thursday evening, May 9th. I would love your company. And the budget vote is May 21st here in the high school gym. It's also important to point out there's a lot of information on the district's website. All past budget presentations, as well as the required budget book, is on the district website. And we are required, after the budget is adopted, to provide all budget materials, both in English as well as Spanish. That is in order to be compliant with Section 203 of the Voting Rights Act. So as part of this presentation that will be posted to the website, everything is in Spanish also. Anyone in the audience wish to hear it in Spanish? No? Okay, great. Any questions? Anyone from you guys want to hear it in Spanish? Perfect.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Curie. All right. Okay, moving right along. Next up are votes and resolutions. So for approval of our April 16th, 2024 regular public meeting minutes, Rob and I will abstain. May I get a motion? First, Henry, second, Katie. Any discussion or questions about the minutes? Let me get a vote on who's in favor. So Megan, Mike, so I have 4, and then Rob and I will abstain. So 401, or 402, excuse me. Thank you. Next up will be approval of our policies, first reading. Ms. Mahoney.
Thank you.
Thank you.
District administration meets regularly to review policies and make suggested revisions, which are then presented to board members at the board policy committee meeting. The following policies have been recommended for a first reading. 5162, these are new or revised policies. 5162 and its regulation, student dismissal precautions and regulation. It's a new policy. The language has been adjusted to specify procedures already in practice by our district. 5310, suspension of students, has been revised and renumbered from 7313. Language has been revised to include ammunition as an instrument or appliance on school property, which would constitute suspension for more than 5 days. And language has also been adjusted to reflect the appeal process by the Board of Ed. 5451, supervision of students, has been revised and renumbered from 7570. The language was changed from coaches to district personnel responsible to maintain supervision over dressing rooms, and the language was also added to ensure that responsibility will be distributed by the building principal so that playgrounds are properly supervised. Number 5460, and the regulation, child abuse, maltreatment, or neglect in a domestic setting, will replace District Policy 7530. It is up to date and aligns with current procedures. Number 5695, students and personal electronic devices, was revised and renumbered from 7316. Language was removed to, which seemed to encourage students on their cell phones during instructional time. Number 5710, school safety and educational climate, the SSEC reporting, will replace policy 3430. This policy replaces our current district policy regarding the formerly known as the Vader report. 5800, student awards and scholarships, has been revised and renumbered from 7430. The policy is being kept, however, revisions were made to clarify that participation by students in contests for awards or scholarships are purely on a voluntary basis. Number 8332, use of district-owned cell phones, will replace 5322. The policy was recommended for adoption with NISBA policy language, as it's clear and current to our practice, and the revision that was made was that all reporting will go through the Human Resources Office instead of the Business Office. The following district policies have just been renumbered to align with NISBA's numbering system. 5280, interscholastic athletics, was renumbered from 7420. 5281, athletic placement process, renumbered from 7421. 5420.1, students with life-threatening health conditions, was renumbered from 7521. 5421, concussion management, renumbered from 7522. 5440, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, electronic cigarettes, and other substances, was renumbered from 7320. 5440.1, alcohol and breathalyzer, was renumbered from 7321. 5450.1, notification of sex offenders, was renumbered from 7560. And the following district policies were recommended for abolishment, reasons being not required, not applicable to district practice, redundant concept or language to other adoptable policies, or not practical to enforce. 7150, 3271, 3273, 6410, 3282, and 1130. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mahoney. Good summary. Appreciate that. May I get a motion to approve the first reading, please? Katie, second. Rob, any discussions or questions? Okay, okay to vote? All in favor?
Sorry.
6-0. Next up will be our Board of Education resolutions. There's 2 of them. I'm going to take them as a block, okay? It's 23-24-242 and 23-24-243. May I get a motion? Megan, second. Mike, any discussion or questions?
What was the revision with the board meeting?
The calendar dates, Mike, in terms of,
The June 25th meeting was moved to June 18th.
we moved our meeting up because of the end of school year, but it'd be great to get it in.
June,
good.
so
Yep.
it's June 18th?
June 18th, Mike, yep.
Did we add another meeting over the summer? We have 3? Did we just
The
have
summer
2?
calendar? I don't have it in front of me. I know that we have our reorganizational meeting, and then I think we did one in July and one in August, if I recall.
I have to check to
In
see.
addition to the reorg, there's another meeting?
This is the 23 and the 24 meetings, this one, not
Yeah.
not the 24, 25.
Yeah, this is just adopting for June, Mike. We're moving.
Oh, I see, I'm
This
sorry.
year's
We're just
calendar.
moving this meeting from the
Oh.
25th to the
Just the-
18th.
We're just
Next year.
revising the date.
This year's calendar,
Yes.
gotcha,
Yes.
sorry.
No problem. Okay, okay, did I do, I don't think I did. I think I did. Did I do the
vote.
motions?
We
I
need a
did,
vote.
okay, thank you. May I get a vote? All in favor? 6-0. Next up is our personnel agenda. May I get a motion? Rob, second. Mike, any discussion or questions? All in favor? 6-0. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's all for tonight. Do we have any other communications, Stephanie? Okay, thank you. May I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting? Megan and Rob, thank you. All in favor? 6-0. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.